Hi everyone, this is Colin, DJ Kosher. I'm the founding owner of Kosher Recording Studios and one of the producers here. And this video, we're going to talk about what you need to bring to prepare fully for a recording session when you are bringing your own beat or your instrumental. So stay with us and let's get into it. Right, so one of the most common projects that we see almost every day, is when an artist will bring along an instrumental that they've acquired. Either a producer has made it for them, or they've made it themselves, or maybe they've downloaded it online, or they've ripped it off YouTube, which is, we'll talk about that later. Either way, bring a beat to the studio, and then they're going to book an hour or two and record their vocals and have us mix and master it. So I'm just going to go through some of the red flags, things to look out for when you're doing a project like this with us, how you can be the best prepared, make the most of your time, make the most of your money, and walk away with the best possible result in product. And yeah, some of the things we've seen a lot. So the first thing that we often ask people is to please bring the beat as a WAV file. If you have access to the producer that you're working with, so either if it's yourself or if you are working with someone, you should ask them to export your track as a WAV file. The sample rate should be 48 and the bit rate or bit depth should be 24. So I'm just going to quickly show you when you are exporting a track. You will get these options. So it will either be in your DAW, or normally it will be here in the export window. Right, so normally around about here you get all these options. You get file types, you get WAV, MP3 over here. We're going to choose a WAV file, and if you are making a beat that is going to be given to someone else or to another studio that will then record and then they will master it, we always ask that you keep the bit depth at 24 and the sample rate at 48. When a track is finished, so when we finish with it and it's mastered, we will export it at 44.1 and 16-bit, which is the iTunes and general playback format. But when you are working between projects and between studios, we always ask that it's 24 or 48. Otherwise, if you guys have, for any reason, if you have a limited space or data restrictions, you can do it as an MP3. If you are going to do an MP3, we ask you to look at this, to always go for 320 kilobytes per second, kilobits per second, sorry. So that is the highest quality MP3. By default, it will set it to 44.1, but that's just things to look out for. Please, guys, do not send your beats over WhatsApp. Don't bring us a beat from WhatsApp. Don't receive your beat over WhatsApp. WhatsApp has a horrible compression. It reduces the file size, and it really does change the quality of the sound and with what we're working with. If you guys don't believe me, take a track, have it emailed to you, and have the same track sent via WhatsApp, and then listen to both of them one after the other. You'll hear the difference in quality is quite clear. It also means that when we are recording with it, we are faced with new difficulties, new challenges. Try and avoid WhatsApp, guys, unless you are sending something for feedback, like, yo, like, what do you think of this, of these lyrics, or do you like this melody? If it's just ideas, WhatsApp is perfectly fine. We send tracks over WhatsApp all the time. Hey, this is the direction we're going with the production. This is the new arrangement we're going with, whatever. But when it comes to a final version, we use WeTransfer. It is a free website. Let me quickly show you. You just go right here. It's www.wetransfer.com. It's a free website. You'll come to this landing page. You put your own email address at the bottom. You put the email address you're sending to over there, and over here you can add whatever files you want, up to 2 gigabytes. Just wait for that spinning ball. You can add any file you want. You can either go here and add any files from here. You'll just click and select and add them in. You say, okay, open, there they go. And you can go up to see it says 1.9 gigabytes remaining. That's if it is free. If you pay for the professional version, you can get unlimited space, I think, or like up to 5 gigs or whatever it is. But in the 5 years that we've been running the business, we've never needed to send more than 2 gigabytes in one WeTransfer. You put the email address where you're sending it to over there. You put your own email address over here. You can put a message over there. you will then click transfer. Actually, Ross, I'm going to send this to you. ross@gmail.com. Right, click transfer. It will then go. The beauty of this is if you have some kind of internet failure or something slows down and it pauses, it will continue when it comes back up again. I'm just going to cancel it because we don't need to be actually sending those files at the moment. And then when you receive the WeTransfer, it will look something along the lines of this. WeTransfer, so you will get an email like this. That person has sent you some files. Download link. You click on it right there. Say get your files, and you'll have it. Bear in mind, these links will expire within 7 days. So make sure you download it. The file won't expire, but the link will expire. So download it within 7 days and it's yours for free. And it doesn't compress the audio, it doesn't compress the file size. You get the exact file. Cool, that's enough about WeTransfer. Everyone should buy themselves a USB flash drive, please. Bring your beat on a USB flash drive. One of the big problems we have is when people bring their beats on a phone. A lot of the technology these days don't sync. So for example, if you have an iPhone and we're working on Windows, you won't be able to transfer your beat across onto our computer. If you have an Android and we have a Mac, which we do, you won't be able to transfer the file. It is much easier. You know, instead of sitting now, you got to log onto the Wi-Fi and try email it to us and find the right file, and we then got to wait for the email to come through. You know, you've got a 1 hour session and we already wasted 20 minutes. That's wasting money. For that same amount of money that you're wasting, you can rather just go down to the shop and buy yourself a USB flash drive. Makes it a lot easier. It also means when the project's finished, we can give you the file back. Please, guys, stop bringing your beats on phones. The next thing you can do to be more prepared is to bring your lyrics. For your lyrics to be fully prepared, you're going to make the most of your session. So we bill per hour. You tell us how many hours you want to work with. We can obviously advise or recommend. We normally recommend 2 hours per song, which gives time for mixing and mastering. However, if you want to come here and chill in the garden or chill by the pool and relax and come up with your own lyrics in your own time, that's perfectly fine. But most people want to make the most of their time and get the best value for money. And the way to do that is to prepare your lyrics and have your song mostly ready and ready to record. Hopefully you know it off by heart, and you're able to perform it and make the most of your studio time and focus on the more important things like delivery and tone, as opposed to actually knowing your lyrics. A lot of our producers have the ability to help you with your lyrics, or maybe they'll adjust something or advise different timing or different flow. But in general, the better prepared you are, the better value for money you'll have, the more we'll be able to focus on other things that are more important, and your end quality, your end product will be much better. Something I have here on the screen is just an example of the next thing that I'm going to talk about. Producers that give you a beat should not master the beat. So what that means, often when a producer is working on their track, it will be the mastering process won't have been done, but sometimes producers will master a track, whether it is for you to hear it and to hear it louder. Mastering does make the song louder. So when you're listening to it to decide whether you want it or not, you want to hear it like as loudly and clearly as possible. So it will be mastered. But if you then decide to take the beat and you want to use it and you want to bring it to a recording session, you should ask for an unmastered WAV file, please. Mastering is something that should only happen once to any piece of music. If you master something twice, you start getting other weird problems. You can look at my mastering tutorial video. We're not going to teach you how to master something, but we're going to teach you what mastering is and some of the red flags there. If you're interested in that, check out that video on our page. But for now, my advice to any producers or any artists working with producers, please get your beats sent to you unmastered. And if they know what this means, try ask for 10 decibels of headroom. So what that means is just that the peak volume of that piece of music will be -10. and it will never go louder than that. If you look at the screen here, I will show you. This is a beat that we received, the one that's highlighted. Quite a good beat. It seems to have been made quite well. And if you look, just turn it down a bit. If you look at these waveforms here, as the
catch your vibe, let's just take our time, just relax your mind.
You can see that there's a dynamic range. So these lines here are very lively. They're up and down, and you can see there's a lot of movement. There's no like over compression. Whereas this is what track would look like if it had been sent via WhatsApp, over compressed. You can see these solid lines is actually what distortion looks like. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with the word distortion. This is what distortion looks like on a digital, on a computer. This is what digital distortion is. It's basically, it's become too loud for the waveform to be replicated. So it just creates a flat line. And you can see quite clearly that, I mean, this is the same song. So I can play it for you here.
Wow, boy. Let me catch your vibe, let's just take our time, just relax your mind.
Just compare that to...
Wow, boy. Let me catch your vibe, let's just take our time, just
Right, so for those of you that can hear the difference, obviously it is quite exaggerated. I wanted to make it very clear what distortion looks like. But over compression, when you're trying to reduce the file size, is a similar thing. Over compression does distort audio, and when you receive files over WhatsApp and you give it to us, that's what we're dealing with. And you might not hear it if you're listening to it on headphones, but we can definitely see it over here. So guys, please try avoid that. And if you do have access to a DAW like Pro Tools or Logic or Ableton, before you come to a recording session, import your track, take a look at it and see, does it have this over compression? Does it have these straight lines, or does it have a nice dynamic range like the one it's supposed to? Another thing just to look at, the beats should start at 0. There shouldn't be like a line of silence before it starts. That means that when we bring it into the grid, what is 0 for us is also 0 for you and 0 for whoever else gets to work on the track. We'll talk about more of that in mixing and mastering and working with separates video. But guys, I think that's about it for now. I think I've covered everything that I'd like to chat about. If you have any comments or feedback, just pop them in the comments below. And if you'd like to ask us any questions, please do feel free. If you want to just look at our contact details on our YouTube channel, or follow us on Instagram, Kosher Studios, or Facebook, Kosher Recording Studios. Just get in contact, get in touch, let us know if there's anything that you'd like us to cover, as I said, or any comments about this video. Otherwise, look out for the next video, and yeah, keep making good music.